Right, it is time for a toast to the Van Wieners. Please give them a huge round of applause. It's David, Dan and Daniel!
Susan, Melanie, Stephen, family and friends, and of course, the new Mr. and Mrs. Van Wiener. Van Wieners, aka Queen and Elf.
Right, before we continue, you are not mistaken. There are three of us standing here. Now, if David had his way, you'd all be up making this speech, as he is terrible at making his mind up and hates to let any of his friends down. Well, David, just make sure that the £50 we gave you, this on it is spent wisely.
For anyone who doesn't know who we are, I'm Dan.
I'm David.
And I'm Daniel.
We've had the pleasure, if you can call it a pleasure, of knowing David for most of our lives. The people who know David well will know this can sometimes be quite a chore, but we'll get on to that later.
Right, before we continue, I'd like to mention how proud we are to be here today, celebrating this amazing occasion with you all. Susan and Melanie, you both look absolutely beautiful tonight. And Stephen, you don't look too bad yourself. I'm sure you will all agree that the bridesmaids, Daniela and Sophie, look absolutely stunning tonight.
So, now we have all the formalities out of the way, let's focus on the man over there with the peanut head, David Wiener.
David is essentially a very caring person. The sort of man who sends you a thank you card in response to your thank you card. and on your birthday, where some people might send a message like, have a good one, mate, David will write a long, thoughtful Facebook post. Sometimes they're so long, it's almost your next birthday by the
David was brought up in Edgware by his parents, Melanie and Stephen, and attended JFS school in Camden Town. Back then, he was known for his regular visits to the nurse's room for phantom headaches, coughs, and other illnesses. One particular day, in technology class, he thought it would be funny to put his fingers in between the blades of a pair of garden shears. That didn't end up well, and it was cut clean off. This was probably the only legitimate time that David actually needed the school nurse.
David was a very lively child and could never sit still. He was put in Fidetsky House at JFS with all the other troublesome and cheeky kids. They were in the excluded from excluded class. To put this simply, this was like the final warning class where you'll be the one step away from expulsion.
He also had a school love, but luckily didn't end up working out. If it was her here tonight, we'd be celebrating the wedding of David and Vienna Wiener.
With his frizzy Jew throat, David also had a resemblance to Screech from the 90s TV series Saved by the Bell. This wasn't the only thing David has a resemblance to. We also have the FA Cup due to his protruding ears, and Prince Nassim the boxer due to his ridiculous French crop he had for over 20 years. Jenny, on behalf of all of us, thank you for finally making him get rid of it.
As I'm sure most of you here know, David supports Spurs, which is a great preparation for the disappointments in life. Even leading 3-0 with 10 minutes to go is no time to celebrate, because as they say, it's the hope that kills. And the last minute winners from Arsenal, and Arsenal winning the league of Spurs in 2003.
Until a couple of years ago, David worked as a chef, but the job involved long hours and was very stressful. So he made the most natural of career changes. He went from being a chef to a personal trainer. This is just a small window into the weird workings of David Wiener's brain.
Free from wearing white in his steamy kitchen, he is now prancing around in lycra in the gym. David has gone from creating calories to burning calories, from making people fat to making people fit. But he loves his job and it keeps him healthy. If he had a Fitbit, it would probably ask for early retirement. But some people say personal training is not a proper work. No offence to all the other personal trainers here. Think again. Let's take David's motivational script. Lift it up, put it down. Lift it up, put it down. Lift it up, put it down. Now imagine saying that 300 times a day without going mad. Now that is proper work.
Nearly 2 years ago, I had the pleasure of David being my best man in Spain, and now it's my turn to get him back with all the stories. For those of you that have known David, well, remember when he moved to Stuttgart in Germany, as this was where his father's company Bosch was based. I made the trip quite a few times to visit him, but quite a few tricks stand out. Dean Edwards, thinking the BMW stood for Belgian Motor Wheels, and arguing that me and David had got it wrong. I also remember a poster on the wall in David's room randomly moving from the bedroom to the bathroom in the middle of the night. The weird thing is that to this day, none of us moved it, and we still believe the house was haunted. There are also many crazy nights out in Germany with none of us able to speak German, but somehow managing to communicate with everyone we met. I'm sure David's neighbours were relieved when he finally moved back to London, as their wing mirrors and Mercedes badge stayed on their vehicles and not as a momentum round David's neck. David, I remember the days when you used to walk into my house and leave with a bag, despite never having one when you walked in. In those bags were my designer clothes. I haven't seen any of those clothes since. So David, I'll be round tomorrow to collect them.
During many boys' trips away, on multiple occasions, David has had a tendency to jump into the swimming pools with his phone or other expensive items in his pocket. He also likes to lose his wallet on nearly every single one of these trips. One of these lost wallet occasions was when he went to Tenerife for our joint 21st. David managed to lose his wallet for the 100th time, for it only to be found in the ceiling light fittings, where he hid it to keep it safe. During this trip, we met some girls on the plane, who we got speaking to. Being the professional bullshitters that we are, we all pretended that we were West Ham youth footballers. We get to baggage claim and say our goodbyes, thinking we wouldn't see them again, only to find out they were actually staying in our bloody hotel. We then had to spend part of the holiday paying random members of the public to ask for photos and autographs. Luckily, this all ended well with us being thrown out of the hotel, never to see them again.
I myself haven't known David for quite as long as these guys, maybe around 15 years or so in a way I'm a little luckier. During the days of him working his long shifts in the kitchen, we hardly saw each other, apart from our birthdays and the odd Super Sunday football of his. We actually became close during a tough time in his life, and before I do continue, I just want to say that we're so unbelievably proud of you, David, for what you've achieved. It hasn't been the easiest journey, you've had your ups and downs, but now you really do have it all, including your queen. Since I have known David though, we've become brothers. We even act like it. He moans, I laugh. He cries a lot, I laugh. He runs off in a huff and sleeps the night on a deck chair by the pool after disagreement, I laugh. He then pinches me and I cry too. We've also had our memories together. One that comes to mind is our trip to Tel Aviv a few years back, just the two of us, and my mum, who was there to supervise as the responsible adult. bearing in mind that we were close to 30 years old at the time. During the days, most of the trip was spent by the pool. David in the sun, oiled up, loving it, and me shade bathing, protecting my delicate skin and Moroccan sunset hair. The night before my cousin's bar mitzvah, the two of us decided to go out properly, obviously without my mum's supervision. How stupid we were. Somehow we ended up at a club buying bottle after bottle of vodka and getting more and more drunk. I don't remember much after that, apart from falling between the two beds in the hotel and not being able to get up. And hearing David at around 5 AM literally crying my name, begging for help because he was having a panic attack after being violently sick. Just like the good younger brother that I am, I told him to shut up, stop crying, and then I went back to sleep.
Mate, even if you do drive us mad for your constant comments about your personal training, your one-to-one kitchen chats over canapes, and you randomly breaking out into squat lunges, triple twisted elbow drop, leg raises, or whatever the hell you call them, we love you. Now, on to the queen herself, Jenny Van Wiener. First of all, I'm sure everyone will agree that you look absolutely stunning tonight.
We all remember the first time you both met in Paphos at mine and Daniela's wedding. And the first thing that David said to us when he saw you. But we can't say that in public. You two were literally inseparable for the whole trip. And we all knew that it was going to lead to something special.
Now, we want to talk about one thing that Jenny's known for. It's not her great PR skills or her love of amazing Turkish meat bread, or how insanely competitive that she is, that she has to try and win at everything. Even a game at Articulate on New Year's Eve nearly resulted in a full-blown punch-up between her and John Davis.
My money was on Jenny to win that all day long. Sorry, John.
The one thing that you're so well known for is that bloody cackle laugh. This laugh, that I'm sure you've all heard at some point during the speech, has literally made children run to hide between their parents' legs, quivering in fear, and has even resulted in complaints being lodged during packed cinema screenings of the latest comedy movies. But this is just one of the special things that makes Jenny who she is.
Driven and ambitious, yet with a heart of gold. You have been a massively positive influence on David, and we have honestly never seen him happier.
Now, on to the stag do. We really do have to admit that it was a brilliant weekend, organised perfectly by three great guys. On the first day, we arranged for David to be dressed up as Jimmy Savile. For us, it was absolutely hilarious. For David, not so much. We will never forget the furious looks he got from parents at Luton Airport. Once we checked into the hotel, we changed him up into a gimp outfit for the evening activities and even hired a dwarf to be handcuffed to him for an hour. Now, as this wasn't fair on the dwarf, we then put David in a giant inflatable penis costume instead, because that's what friends are for.
One moment from the stag that the boys will never forget happened on the first night. We organised a bar crawl. Everyone got very drunk, and then a huge fake policeman turns up at the club to arrest David for possession of drugs. He literally had tears in his eyes when the reality hit him that he might have to spend the night in a cell with a drunk Hungarian mass murderer called Boris. We won't go into any other details about the stag, but I'm delighted to say that the Foreign Office have informed us that diplomatic relations with Hungary have now been re-established. Luckily, I was there in Thailand for your wedding on the 27th of February. It was an absolutely stunning setting, and the memories will stay with us forever. It's a shame that the dog decided to crash the wedding and couldn't make the London flight to join us here tonight.
Jenny and David, The envelope that Daniel's handed you contains a signed letter from your hero, Mauricio Pochettino, the Tottenham Hotspur manager. I just want to read it out to everyone. Dear Jenny and David, I'm writing to congratulate you on this very special occasion. I'm sure it will be a long and prosperous marriage, and on behalf of everyone here at Tottenham Hotspur, I should like to wish you both the very best in your future together. And remember, in life, just like in football, a little teamwork can get you some great results. I've also arranged for you to get a letter from the Arsenal manager, Arsene Wenger. Just like the Arsenal team, it never turned up. But we do have a few other treats in store for you tonight. These guys have made the long journey here just to celebrate with you. So please welcome them to the stage.
Oh dear.
Sorry, give us a moment.
Sorry.
We'll go.
Guys, what the hell are they going? Sorry. Guys, I'm really, really sorry. It's just rude. I don't know where they've gone. I suppose I'm going to try to find out anyway. I do apologise. Just thought, please, just relax, calm down. I've done a lot of weddings. I've never seen this done in my life. I'm speechless, to be honest with you. It was a great speech, and it seems they've ruined the whole thing. But who knows? I don't know what is going to happen, but hopefully they should be back very, very shortly. So, like I said, I do apologise. So just bear with me, and let's find out. I think they got a bit nervous, but let's wait and see what's going to happen.
Jen, the idiot sounds
But we just talk, when we sing, everyone put your hands in the air. Now this is the story, all about how his life got flipped and upside down. And we love to take a minute just to notice that he had became the prince of a town called Bushy. In the north of Edgware, born and raised in the kitchen where he spent most of his days, cooking and cleaning, picking his cool, cut his finger off in the playground at school. Germany was up to no good, started making trouble in the neighbourhood. So broke the coffee table, we got scared, said I'm moving back home, straight to Edgware. From insane, off to the Hilton and started the kitchen, chef lights on and the gas is pitching. Walked there on one day, noticed it's sad, drinking fish bowls, one out with the lads. After being bailed out by Wex's dad, this might not be bad. He met this girl, it didn't work out. Long story short, nothing to shout about, let's skip 10 years to 2014. This year was all about winning. Playing under the pathos, there was a clubbing knock in the blazing sunshine. It was hot, hot, hot. The set was in motion, we ready with the lotion. This was the start of our Venus commotion. He was freaked out when he came here. Think what he said, I'm proposing to my dear. If one thing I can say, that Rose is a man. Jenny said yes, then off to Amsterdam. We pulled up to dance about 4 or 5. Stag to Budapest with 15 guys. He looked at his costume, he thought, I can't believe he just as Jimmy Savile.